Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to episode number 91. How's everyone doing? Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to episode number 91. How's everyone doing? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back. Good to see you all on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Post CPI. Looking forward to talk about today's session. CPI came out pretty reasonable. Actually, not bad at all. So let's talk about that. Let's see what we have with us in the chat today, and let's get back to work. We are in a tight range, my friends. We are in a tight range. I know we're pushing up, but we're in a tight range, so we're going to talk about that here. Are we going to see the breakout today? That is the real question. Anyways, welcome back. Good to see you, Ahmed, my friend. How are you? What? What's up, bro? George, he says, fuck gold. Connie, how you doing? Tamer, good to see you, man. John, Fresh, how are you? Manovic, hey, welcome back. Fresh, how are you, man? Paul, good morning from South Africa, nice. How you doing, man? Japan, my friend, good to see you. Laserton, that's the only one. The Chris, the man himself. Dominic, yes. Anthony, yes. Connie, yes. Snowfall, hey, he's back. Tian, all right, we got a busy chat today. Yes, sir. Okay, let's get back to work. We have to do our breakdown right now. We are breaking out. We have to talk about it. So let's get back to work, man. And let's see if gold does what it does best, and then potentially push higher today, or what? Or are we in resistance? We'll talk about it. Yep. Let's do it. Same song. I just love this song in the morning. Okay. Oh my God. What a nice drop. Anyways, welcome back, my friends. Good to see you all. Gold is pushing higher. I wish I had that song on. Couldn't find that song, but you know the song, right? Push it higher. Anyways, gold is breaking out. Overall, though, horrible range right now at the moment. I'll tell you why. This is not the best price action at this current moment in time. It looks great according to this move right now that we're seeing. But in terms of the overall breakout, yeah, it is great. It's good that we're breaking out right now, but let's see how strong we actually will, or how strong we actually are. And if this is a breaker or a failure. All right, we're gonna figure that out. Right now, due to the fact that on the higher time frame, we are still in daily supply. Okay, do take that in consideration. We are in pretty strong daily resistance. If you go to the futures chart as well, you can actually see that we are tapping into that a little bit later. You see that right there? We have this chart right here. We're in that daily supply zone, that huge drop. You see that drop right there? This is a major resistance. So when we think, oh, it's going to just break out today, we're going to go straight to the freaking moon. And we do have some more resistance to deal with, unfortunately, right there. So while we're doing that, while we're in that resistance, the internal, so the trend, the intraday is not looking weak at all, right? So we're kind of trying to push deeper and deeper inside of that major resistance right now at the moment. Okay, so overall, I must say this doesn't look weak, right? Like you see this impulse right there. We have a little bit of a balanced area. We break out. We have a bit of a balanced area. We break out, balanced area, breakout. And we're responding to every type of support we can find right now. And we are flipping bullish. So this is not looking weak. So like you can't short this, right? Like this is just like a very strong impulse to the upside. The only way to short this is to really snipe a sniper and to scalp a scalper or whatever, to act like a scalper and to be very, very tight with a quick push down. But overall, you know, we're compressing kind of heavily right now at the moment. I hope you guys can see that and understand that. This is not the best price actually to work with, okay? We have a major impulse though, and every impulse is getting smaller and smaller. That is the other way though. You do see that, right? A huge 2,500 pip move, followed by a 1,500 pip move, followed by a 1,200 pip move, and then a 700 pip move. And you can see that every expansion, every piece of momentum is slowing down. It's slowing down a little bit more and more right now at the moment, okay? Anyways, look at the dollar though. The dollar is completely out of its element. Look at the dollar right now since, you could say, the beginning of this month. The dollar is pretty much flat. Look at that. Dollar is in a range. It can break the high. It can break the low. It's in a range itself. The reason why gold came up so aggressively and how much stronger gold in essence is actually the fact that the dollar is in a range, while gold has just been driving to the upside. So in terms of the relative strength, gold is outperforming the dollar significantly right now, okay? Regardless of the dollar range, gold does not really care. Gold is going up anyways, okay? So this is pretty much what we can see right now, is that the dollar is flat and that any pullback of the dollar right now causes gold to rally a little bit higher. You can see that it's actually where we started, right? We started exactly there. The dollar dropped. And at this current moment right now, you can see that gold rallied. So at this moment where we find some support is round about here. But even that does not necessarily mean that if the dollar comes back up, that gold will drop. Even though we did though, when the dollar came up here, all right, let's put up gold for a second. Right there, let's put gold up right there. When the dollar dropped or the dollar rallied right there, gold did came down right there. You see that? There's a gold did found its way down when the dollar started to come up right there at the moment, okay? So I think it's extremely important to pay attention to what happens around the dollar, around this area, okay? Because I think there is still a chance that this is just gonna be a fake out and that gold might still find resistance and will not break out actually, okay? So yes, gold looks strong. Higher time frame is saying bullish, but even though we're in that resistance, we might stay stuck in a range as well, okay? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I'm actually kind of curious to your opinion right now as well. Let's use our combined intelligence, yeah, to get to a climax and to see what is popping. We might do another giveaway by the end of this session. Isabella, cue the intro music again. We need it. I guess we do. I guess we do. Goldfish channel says that's what I think. Fake out. It's already rejecting. Okay, Drew, ranging. Babu is in for buys to the moon. Okay, Okay, mixed data, mixed sentiment on gold here. Anyways, so what are we gonna do on the lower time frame? How are we gonna use the volume profile today? Let's talk about it. Well, a couple things that I'm looking at right now. Okay. Due to the fact that the impulse right now, that the impulse is getting smaller and smaller. So every push that we see up is slowing down a little bit, and we are indeed in a big resistance right there. Right, keep in mind we are in this area right there. Okay, I think it's important to mention, to take in consideration now that we are in higher time frame supply. We have to mark that out one more time here because we are in there. Look at that area right there. Pretty much one more time, right? This zone. And we face a lot of resistance inside of that area right now. So what I think we're seeing right now is bullish trend. Okay, we're trending up, but we are facing higher time frame resistance, and gold is facing resistance now at the moment here. If you look at this week, okay, we just set in a new high of the week. We took out the previous daily high, okay, the current weekly high. And at the same time, the lows right here are sitting at, I think, the 4,300. So we are kind of operating inside of this range. It is not a strong impulse. Look at the previous week here. This was a strong impulse, right? Like very strong continuation pattern. Now we are definitely not the strongest. In this moment right here, you can see that we're kind of hovering around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the volume profile and I'm going to mark it out over the previous day, number one. Okay, we just broke above the previous daily high. I think that is one layer. And also the whole week. Okay, we call that the current week. So we take the Monday, 6 p.m. Okay, the Sunday open, all the way down to the current price. All right, to just see what happened this week. And in both cases, you can now see officially that we are breaking out of the value area. Both of the previous day, right there, okay, as well as the current week right there, all right? So the goal is to really watch right now what happens inside of a pullback, inside of a potential range, specifically looking at the lower level. I think it's gonna be the previous daily. And to see if we find any level of support right now, because we are breaking out. We did close above it. So I think it's still worth it right now at the moment to pay attention to the previous daily range and pretty much mark out the value area high, the value area low, and see what happens inside of the previous daily level. And to see pretty much if price respects any of our levels, like the point of control, okay, which is sitting right here, the previous daily point of control, and the value area high. I think it's worth to pay attention to this because we do have two levels to work with right now at the moment, okay? In case we do pull back and we get into any of that level and we find that support here, is there a chance that we can actually bounce? Because we did see not just a wick anymore, we did see a closure. And also if the 1 hour closes above it as well here, I think that's gonna make a big impact too, a big difference as well here, okay? So I definitely wanna watch this. Right now at the moment, I want to watch to see what happens now that we have broken above and we're clearly trading above the value area of the week as well. The question is always, is that going to lead to, let's say, continuation plays or not, right? That's kind of the big question for now. And that's always something I want to mark out and watch every time when we pull back and break out at this current moment here, okay? Let's take the futures account as well here, the GC. Let's see where the point of control is at. It's a bit lower of the current week. Let's see where we are. It's a bit higher. And we are sitting, I think, at this level right there, okay? Any pullback is definitely what I need here. Because if we don't see it properly, like a proper retracement into the breakout right now, I think we're in a very tricky range right now at the moment here. Okay? Oh, that makes sense. Goldfish channel that Newsweek down seems like a clue for a fake out to the downside. Just my thought. Yeah, you do have the CPI here. Let's talk about this as well. We actually do have something like that to talk about because we have it coming out lower than expected. 3.4% is actually relatively good for gold, right? You would say it's actually much better than expected. 3.4% is lower. Okay, it's not like outrageously better or something like that. But if you combine that with really bad market labor data and let's say lower inflation, right? In theory, that cannot be bad for gold if you look at it from that perspective. Because they're looking for reasons to increase those interest rates. But at this current moment, everything is looking, you know, pretty stable. In terms of the economy in the US, does not look that great. It's going to impact, if they would increase interest rates, it's going to impact the dollar heavily or the economy heavily. So therefore, it doesn't seem to be the right moment. Yeah. Anyways, what is the higher time I'm telling us right now? Even though we are in resistance, okay? And I think this is an extremely important nuance. And this is how we're going to close the analysis for today, okay? Even though we're in resistance right now at the daily supply zone, we are not seeing any strength coming from it, okay? So this is actually an important nuance. That if you see this chart right here, you see that we're in daily supply, but we failed to take out, because we tapped into it twice already, but we failed to take out any lows. If you go here to the 8 hour, we failed to take out any structure, any lows. We're respecting every low that's coming the moment we tap into supply, and we don't break down, or we don't break structure down, it's not necessarily looking weak. Gold doesn't necessarily looking weak right here, okay? Oh, that makes sense from that perspective. Why don't we mark out the volume on GC1 only rather than Owanda? JetGPT is to rather mark out the volume profile on that. We always do this as well on GC1. At the same time, we keep a close eye on both, okay? Oh, that makes sense here. But yeah, anyways, gold does not look weak at all. I think it's worth to pay attention to what happens inside of this area. But I would not be surprised, okay, if this would be some sort of fake out right now as well here. So let's not be too aggressive. Let's really see if we can wait for the right confirmation and go from there. Because yeah, the last thing that we want to see is getting faked out in daily supply right now at the moment, in higher time and resistance. Okay? Oh, that makes sense. Last thing that we want to figure out is that. You guys agree? Yeah, I've been using Owanda myself, by the way, for years. It's not that I just use this. I've been using the futures chart, but I have been Owanda actually for years upon years right now. And it has been, for me, extremely reliable. So I don't know. For me, it has been working very well here. I still utilize, of course, the order flow. Okay, and the order flow is telling me right now that we are still in that same old resistance, and we can't seem to break that. So we have to be very, very cautious, guys, with bid buys here. It looks very tempting, okay? And on a good pullback, I probably will look for a buy inside of the range. But yeah, keep in mind that a lot of buyers stepped in at the top here, okay? And they couldn't get anywhere right now as well. So the chances of this being a fake out is there. I just want to acknowledge this. There is a chance that this will be a turn into some sort of fake out right now at the moment. Okay, we're gonna watch it very, very closely. Anyways, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that you guys are fully updated and ready in case we find something that we can spot. First level I'm gonna mark out is the 20. Okay, I want to mark out the 20. That is the POC right there. So I do want to mark out the 20 just to see how price responds around there. And then we go from there. Honestly, today is a tougher price action in comparison to the other days, I must say. Okay, the other days it was really clear. Every day buys was extremely clear. This is one of the first times where I'm like, the chances of a fake out might appear today. Okay, so we're gonna see. What about that POC wick of the CPI, or the CPI wick to the POC? It would have kicked us in here. Yeah, that was right here, but it didn't happen on the stream. This happened in a New York session, right? If you take the previous daily, if you take the volume profile of the previous day, you can actually see that if you take the volume profile right here and you waited patiently, then you tapped into the point of control of yesterday right there during the CPI, right? That was right there, okay? That is right there at the moment. If you tapped into that, CPI came into the point of control and it respected it and it held above it. So yeah, that was a really good confirmation because at that time we tapped into what we call, hope you guys can see it right there. How do we call this again in the chat? Let me know. The low volume node. The low volume node. Right there. Okay? Exactly, guys. Tapped into the low volume node, got absorbed, and boom, price shoot up aggressively. Yeah, the New York session, my friends. That's why we love the volume profile. That's why we love the volume profile, right? Yeah, we're already breaking down. Look at the hourly as well here. Let's remove this for a second here. Look at the hourly. The hourlies are really struggling. Look at that. You see that wick on the top side right now at the moment here? Let me just make sure that this is slightly lighter so you actually can see it clearly. There we go. Yeah, you see that? In daily supply, right there. Really struggling right now at the moment already. Okay? Really struggling. But if you go to the lower time frame, you think, oh, this looks promising. This looks quite strong. Yeah. If I don't get a trade today in the next, like, if I don't see a setup in the next, like, 20 minutes, we're going to keep the stream very short today. We're going to do a full analysis for what my expectations are, where I'm going to buy, because I'm still buying. If price will drop, I'm also buying if price will come down a bit lower here. Okay, and we get to potentially a good level here inside of this range, because I don't think that gold will be able to completely smash down and break down. But I keep it very, very short today. Okay. There are gonna be days sometimes, guys, and the chat needs to know that, especially new people, that sometimes the market's in a certain moment where we experience that we're getting so tight that it's not worth to risk it to get involved into trades here. Like, I'm a guy, I want to get into good trades. Last week, we have been trading every day, okay? The week before, almost every day. The week before, almost every day. But sometimes there are moments, okay? Sometimes there are moments where the market is so compressed and we're getting tighter and tighter and we're losing that momentum and that follow through. And the range itself even is not necessarily super clean or clear either. That it's better sometimes to just observe or find the best possible entries in order for us to get there, okay? Yeah. Have you ever thought putting your strategy into a bot? I think the win rate would be very high. I think it would be profitable, but I think manual trading is still better with this strategy personally. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The main reason why is because even if you have a profitable strategy and a trading bot or whatever, you're gonna go to like these days and weeks where you will not be profitable, and by the end of the year you should be ending up higher. If you have a profitable trading strategy, there are certain moments in time where for 1 or 2 months or 3 months you're gonna be unprofitable, right? And this is completely normal in a strategy that is automated, for example, right? You have like 9 profitable days and then, or 8 profitable months, and then sometimes you have 3 unprofitable months, sometimes in a row, because the market does not what you want it to do, for example, right? This is automated. If it's manual, you can limit that. I think you can become profitable every month. I really do believe that. I think in every condition, in every month, you can become profitable. I really truly believe that. Out of my personal experience, I think you can be profitable every month. You will not have like outrageous months where sometimes you have like an insane amount of results, like where you just like triple your account, whatever. But other days, there are moments where you, you know, make a couple of percent, or you just above break even, but you make money, right? With a training bot, sometimes I've noticed that you have an EV calculator, which just has those dips, right? If I would automate my strategy and I would trade like purely mechanical, manually, then I would be probably, I will have like unprofitable months or things like that. I would not be able to, I don't like that. I think that you need a combination of mechanical system, mechanical approach with some discretion to it, okay? With some discretion to it, in order to really benefit from the markets on a monthly basis. Yeah. All right. To be honest, guys, this looks like a fake out to me. I'm not gonna sit here and say, wow, this looks very bullish. Look at the hourly right now. Look at the 15-minute. Look at all those buyers that stepped in here. 3.3K contracts at the top here. Look at that. 3.3 thousand is a lot on the 15-minute. And more buyers stepped in here. And then we dropped, and now we're breaking below the VWAP. If we close below the VWAP, then these buyers are officially stuck in their position. Okay? And the candle just closed, and the hourly candle just closed. That actually proves my point, that a lot of those buyers now that are up there are now trapped. So that means that people bought the breakout right here. And actually that gives me, to be really honest with you guys, honestly, this gives me short vibes for the first time in a while here, okay? Especially because we're still trending up, we're still strong. This gives me counter trend, short-term scalp, short vibes right now at the moment here. If you take the volume profile of the whole week until the current price, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because we're pretty much, you know, we're not really trending hard anymore, right? Last week we did, but this week we are not. This is already Thursday. It gives me short vibes with these trapped buyers right now at the moment. Okay, so I'm watching it, and we're already back inside of the value area. Okay, this is the value area. We're already getting accepted inside of it. The point of control is there though. What about a retracement back inside of that area where those buyers got trapped, and see if we could take a short? But it's a riskier trade, which still makes sense, but that means we'll take it from the value area high of the current week, which is this level right there. It's pretty much the value area high of this whole week right now. We're in daily supply, so that makes sense. We just don't have a lot of room, right? We don't have a lot of room because we're gonna deal with some of the levels here, the point of control there, the value area high there, which is actually kind of good to that we have that. I think we should watch this. Watch if we can pull back into those buyers. If we can get a rejection and just keep our stop loss very tight above those highs, because you don't want to break those highs, and see if it's possible to tap into this and reject, because we'll be rejecting from the value area high, if I'm not mistaken. It will be the value high as well here, correct? Let's see, double checking. Yeah, it's pretty much the value high on futures as well, and on spot, by the way, from the week, the whole week, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth testing and seeing here. Valuation, Ooh, what is the valuation telling us? That looks pretty overvalued to me as well. We're there, rejected. There, rejected. There, pullback. There, pullback. There, smaller range. How long? 2 hours. Okay. We can try. That's something I would be willing to do. With this confirmation now on the order flow and the VWAP, but we have to tap into those buyers. We are tapping into that. Definitely half risk. Definitely half risk. Definitely half risk. I think that is that area right there. This is where those buyers are stuck. We entered very aggressively right there. Let's see what the dollar is doing one more time. Yeah, the dollar just had to make a little pullback right here, finding that support. Oil is in support too. Wow, what a tough range, guys, today. Holy moly. What's your average risk to reward ratio and win rate? Right now we're sitting at a 1.8 to 1 because of our runners with around a 74% win rate. I need to double check it. But yeah, we're in a little bit of a range right now at the moment, so I'm kind of lowering my risk a bit. Everyone wants to buy in the chat. Everyone is looking to buy right now at the moment. I'm not interested in buying here. Too many trap buyers at the top here. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of buying here. Not inside of that daily resistance now. I know the trend is strong and we're holding up really well, so we're not weak at all. Like, I'm not saying that we're super weak. I'm just saying that it's just a very, very tricky range. Let's see if we can tap into this area. I'm really curious to see if we can bounce or try to break into that level that we talked about, that green box. But we're going against the trend. Maybe for the first time today in a while, we'll go against the trend. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. That is the whole point. I have many counter trend setups. Okay. Many counter trend setups. I think that many of those longs that we had here were in like selling market. The beginning especially. Many of those were actually counter setups as well, but they were quick in and out trades. They were not like long-term setups. Yeah, we're just watching it very carefully right now at the moment because I'm not getting long vibes here. What makes you skip a setup that looks good? Well, a setup that looks good, I would not skip, right? So that's kind of a contradiction. Yeah, I'm really watching the order flow carefully today. I know we're in this major area. Yeah, we're definitely facing a lot of resistance here. Even though like it looks good from the like intraday. I know when to lower my risk, when to increase my risk. Is this then the moment? I might give it a try one time. Honestly, if we can get into this level, into those like buyers, because it's a lot of volume, 3.3K. It's a lot of volume. And keep in mind, the hourly candle just opened up. Only like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I might actually give this a shot here. Let's see what we can do. Can you explain one more time the stealth valuation index and its settings? Yeah, we can do that in a second for sure. Yeah, we're watching it very, very carefully right now at the moment. Okay, so in the order flow right now at the moment, the reason why I'm just understanding what's happening here, the reason why I look at the order flow now is because we just broke above the value area right here. We are in like a really crucial point of interest right now at the moment. We broke out of the highs. We took out the previous daily highs. We broke back inside of the value area. Okay. So this is truly the moment where you have to watch what happens here in the order flow to really see how buyers and sellers are interacting with each other. And this is a good example and time of doing that. Okay, it's not, I don't like to stare at an order flow chart because I don't think it really helps with analyzing. I think it only makes sense at crucial moments and crucial levels, like when you take out the previous daily highs, or when you are back inside of the value area and you get rejected, or you are at a crucial area of resistance. You know, all of that, I think becomes very interesting. Yeah. What beginner mistakes do you see most traders make? Or what mistakes do you see beginners make over and over again? I think over trading is the big one. What do you guys think? I think over trading is the big one. Honestly, I can have a maximum of 2 trades a day. Like really, 2 trades a day, and I could like double my account. Like that. Like really. So I'm not sure why you need 10 of them. You know, you have like a couple good trades, and then you keep trading and trading, and then you lose all the profits you made. Imagine that. Right? You had like a moment in a day where you were up, I don't know, significant amount according to your account, and then you managed to ruin it all by the end of the day just because. Right? So I think over trading is one of the big ones. Also, not being able to control your yourself when executing. So like, you feel that you have to take a trade is also another one. I sometimes have this too with the stream. I'm not gonna lie. Where I'm like, man, I want to get into a trade now. I like it, right? So I'm getting a little bit more out of my comfort zone, where normally I would say I would absolutely 100% like just do this and nothing else. And so I need to correct myself many times over as well to say, nope, can't take a trade. Okay. But in this case, actually, it does make sense if we do see the rejection inside of this, inside of those buyers, and we see price rejecting. So in this case, there is an opportunity. But in the end, it's not about the amount of trades, it's about the amount of money you make, right? And just think about that. If you made your money in the first 2 trades, let's say you took 1 or 2 trades and you made your money for the day, you should be chilling, okay? You should be literally chilling. You should close your laptop and literally do whatever you want to do, okay, for the rest of the day. The market is not going to run away. The market is going to come back tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after. And if you do that continuously, okay, then you will see, you'll end up having much better results. Yeah, because the market is rigged against you. The more trades you take, the more you expose yourself to the market, the lower the chances of you succeeding. This is statistically proven. So if you can just prove to yourself that you can limit the amount of trades you take by selecting the few that matter the most, you have the highest chance of success in this market, okay? The highest chance of success in this market, if you commit to that. Can you have under trading? Yeah, I agree. That's also a problem. If you're too scared to take any trades, right? That's another layer. So you need to, it's a double-edged sword. You need to find the right balance. Okay. You really do need to find the right balance. What are we waiting for now? We're waiting very simply. If you can tap into the zone and reject her. And if this high, which is pretty much the resistance that we are forming right there, if we can actually sell and trade back to the POC pretty much of the previous day, which is slightly higher. Yeah, it's a small range. But if you see so many buyers stepping in at the top here and being trapped in their position, and the VWAP is below, it's not necessarily strong, okay? It is not necessarily strong from gold right now at the moment here. So, you know, I would not personally buy here. I don't see this as a good breakout. I think this is a much more like a selling, a fake, I would say a fake out maybe. Look at the hourly as well here. We swapped the highs and closed below. That is not a good sign, right? There we go. We're already getting rejected actually right now at the moment. Look at that. We're getting rejected already. Does it look like a buy, guys? I'm not sure. I don't think so. You know what I mean? Not a big fan of buys. I know when to buy. I know when to look for buys. And that is when you don't see that. Okay? When you break out. You don't see that, and you don't see an hourly closure below, okay? If it was truly a breakout moment, then the hourly should have closed above, in my opinion, okay? The hourly candle should have closed above the highs and not below, because it just shows there's too many sellers, buyers being trapped at the top of this range. Unfortunately, we didn't tap into our zone that I want price to tap into. But this gives me vibes of us getting back towards. Let me mark out the previous daily, by the way, again. Yeah, somewhere here, somewhere lower. Yeah. Yeah, this could already go, guys, to be honest. Yeah, look at that reaction. OMG, how about Lorenzo making trading a primary income or only relying on it? Do you think makes it even harder to become profitable because I am just blowing and blowing accounts? I think so, yes. Yeah, if you are not able to lose money, then and it becomes scarce money, you have an issue. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it works this way, but it is just the truth, right? If you need to rely on your income, if you need to rely on trading and you don't have any buffer, then it's so tough, man. It's so tough to hold on to certain trades. And you know, then this is what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna take amazing trades and you're gonna see a little bit of drawdown and you're gonna get scared and you're gonna get out of the trade early, okay? Or a little bit of profit and you're gonna close it early. And then the trades are gonna play out in front of your own eyes, okay? And then you're like, shit. Next time I need to hold on. And then next time, for some reason, you take a B quality setup and you hold on to that trade and that trade doesn't play out. And it seems to be a loop, right? Now, this comes usually from a perspective of scarcity. If you feel scarcity in trading and no abundance, you're one step behind. And that is very, very tough to trade, unfortunately. So if you have not much money to work with, take like a really small prop firm challenge or prop firm account. Start really trading those prop firm challenges as well. At least you know what you afford to lose. That's always better, because on a small account, it can go, on a cash account, it can go quick. It can go quickly, okay? it can go quickly. You can make money quickly, but it can go down quickly as well here. So yeah, keep that in mind. Unfortunately, that's how trading works. The more you have, the easier it becomes. So the more money you have, the easier it becomes, unfortunately. So you need to overcome it by a good system. What can I say, man? A good system, trust your system, or lower your risk and play the long game. Or use a prop firm and get towards those payouts first. And then take that and put it in an account. Yeah. Which one is better, Orderflow or ICT? Whatever you prefer, my friend. Whatever you like. Whatever you prefer. I don't want to be into that debate. I don't want to waste my time. What do you think? Divine profile, baby. I've been using the Divine profile for 5 years now. 6 years already. 6 years. And when I was using it on YouTube, okay, in my first streams, the only people that were using the Divine profile were old guys in their 70s, okay, that were in this business for a while. And they used a terminal that was not TradingView. Okay, it was not TradingView. Yeah. Some ICT traders, they're gonna, you know, they ask that question all the time. Like, do you think ICT is better than an Orderflow? I'm like, I don't know, man. Whatever you prefer, right? I can give you everything on a silver platter right now. Exactly what I do, right? Exactly what I do. I can show you all my results, all my trading results, my P&L, everything. And I can give you everything, okay? And you can still mess it up. So, and then blame the strategy for it. So I think it's a mindset, okay? It's also a mindset. It's also, are you willing to put in the work, no matter the strategy? Are you willing to take this serious? How can we get the order flow data for free? If you have a prop firm challenge, okay, and you use things like Tradeovate, you can use Tradeovate's footprint. It's actually okay. I've seen people using it, and it's free. So you can give that a try, because you can get the free market data with that. It's not the best, but if you want to get started and you want to become familiar with something like order flow, then I think that's a good way to get started. Okay? Anyways, I hope you guys could see, like, in terms of the trade itself, I couldn't find a good entry here. I don't think it was great to enter in this area. But I could definitely see it not being a long. Okay? I could see why avoiding this fake out was a good thing to do. Not getting into the breakout into longs right here. That was pretty clear to me, according to the way we closed and where we stand right now at the moment here. And I do think, according to what we see here, that we might find more resistance. And I hope that we pull back one more time. We can create some sort of top, reject, and actually come down a bit more. I think the market needs it. Okay? I think the market needs it. right now at this current moment. So be careful with longs here. I think it is not the time as well here. Also keep in mind that it's very unusual the way we immediately came up today. Okay. Usually you create at least a little bit of a bottom before you make the push higher. We didn't do that today. Today was just a straight up push to take out the highs quickly, right? So some things don't add up today. They don't add up for longs right now at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, it looked really bullish, right? People in the chat, buy. Keep in mind, we just have to follow our own rules at all times, right? We can't be too one-sided, okay? And this also says, like, listen, follow the trend so it's a buy is not enough, okay? And this is something that, this is the biggest, people are gonna try to cap me on this, but like, the term like follow the trend always is true, okay? It's true. I love looking for longs here and just be patient and looking for longs here. But it doesn't mean that I chase every breakout, okay? That does not mean that I chase every breakout to the upside and that I just expect price to continue to go higher because I'm following the trend. Sometimes the market has to come down, right? The trend does not break. We're still respecting the area, an area of balance here, which is sitting right below. We would still respect this range. We'll come down all the way, okay? And we take out the lows and we continue to go higher. Are we still following the trend? I think so. We're still following the trend, right? So, yeah, it does make sense, but we have to be very careful with buying here now at this current moment. What is the indicator below the chart? That is the valuation index right there. Okay, you take the dollar. This is what you do first. You take the dollar. Okay, you tap in the dollar. You click on OK, and then you put the dollar right here. So first thing you do is you compare if the dollar is actually aligned with gold. So if the dollar has been coming down, if gold has been coming up. So for example, dollar was pushing up quite aggressively here. And indeed, gold was dropping while that was happening, right? So you can kind of confirm that the dollar is listening to gold, or gold is listening to the dollar, I could better say. So the dollar came up and gold came down. Then gold came up and the dollar came down. Now, in terms of strength, gold is stronger, but there's definitely some sort of correlation to it at the moment, right? So that is good to know. Then we take the tool, and every time when we are here, in that blue mark at the top here, we're overvalued, okay? We're trying to avoid taking longs there as much as possible. Are we gonna reach our zone, guys? Are we gonna tap into this area? Can we get into that green box? That green box. Yeah, so let's remove this right now. I think it's pretty clear that we are here. We have tapped into this. I think we're also below the POC already. Yeah, we did that. And it's the very high. So much resistance there. I hope we can pull back into this area. But I would not be surprised if we have a hard time already here. Yeah, I think today's one of those days. Why the song is push it higher when we're shorting? That's true. We're not shorting yet, so it can come up a little bit more now. All right, it can push up a little bit more. Let's say around there. That would be an incredible level to work with. The 93 on futures. I don't know what level that is on spot. I think that is we're 28, 27, 86. So it's like a 60-point difference. It's a massive difference, by the way. The price difference between futures and spot right now. 60 points to be exact. It's a big difference. Man, I'm focused right now. I can see shorts here. Rejecting us out of the very area of yesterday. Inside below the VWAP. I think I want to give it a try, guys. I really think so. I think we're going to give it a try. I'm not sure about my stops, how long, how big that will be. That will be a... Oh, it's a big one. It's still a big stop. It's still a big stop. So the target needs to be at least the lows. It's too tight. It's too tight. The 93 is here, right? I need to look at the future chart here. The 93, it's This makes more sense. It's like a 2-to-1. Because that is that zone here. Yeah, no, we have to be patient, man. We have to really be patient. I can't force anything here. The risk reward does not add up right now at the moment. But this could reject. Okay, I'm not saying it could definitely reject here. Okay, it could reject here and it could come down. The risk to reward just doesn't add up yet. Okay, it's such a tight range that we're working with. Okay, but in rate respect, this could be short. We could see these lows being hit. I would not be surprised if you would see the flip here and us trying to push down to the value area low. Okay, the value area low of yesterday, which is sitting right at the lows here. But if I would enter there, the stop has to be above the highs. The risk to reward would just be, it will be, I mean, a 1-to-1, which is not bad. It's fine. The only problem is that if you would take profits here, it's gonna massively decrease your risk to reward ratio. Okay. Yeah. So what's what happens here with the price? I'm just saying, guys, I'm just giving you the insight right now. I would not be surprised if price would do this. And we'll visit those lows here. Okay. And just target the value area low right here of the previous day, which is this level. It's the 4401. Okay. But from a risk perspective, it will make it very, very tight here. It's not something that I would personally really take unless we would tap into those hires, into those buyers there. But I do see it getting there for some reason here. Sometimes that's the annoying part. Sometimes you can see the trade, but the risk to reward just doesn't add up. Some people in the chat are short for sure. I don't see it as a bad thing though. I really don't. I don't see that this is a bad decision. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Look at the rejection as well. Wow. Right simulates his buy now or never. I'll tell you where I would buy. I would buy if we would be coming down a little bit more here today. If we can take out maybe the CPI lows here, I think we're gonna have really good buys sitting right here. Okay, right at the bottom of that area, right there. I think you're gonna have really good buys sitting right there. Okay. This is somewhere around the 4,389, something around the lows there, which makes total sense, by the way. If you look at the overall week, from the beginning of the week to the end of the week, somewhere around here, I think is an amazing level. If not, back towards the ranges right there. I would buy somewhere around the 43. You could say 60, which is this range. 57, 60, or maybe even the lows getting taken out of the CPI and then finding entries then, but not here. This is in my opinion a clear fake move. And yeah, you can see how price is reacting here, okay? Yeah. And let's see if we can revisit those lows, guys. I mean, if price is willing to come down, yeah, we're just doing a little bit of a simulation right now. In this case, just watching this. And sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't necessarily enter a position, but I just do see it, and I'll give you my reason why. Sometimes I'm like, this is not part of my my exact setup, the setup that I want to see, but it does not necessarily mean that I don't think that we will revisit a low. Sometimes I can have a clear understanding of where I think price will go, but the setup itself doesn't allow me to take it, for example. Even though I do think that this makes total sense. Sounds weird for some people, but to me it doesn't sound weird at all. And I hope you can understand that. But yeah, the previous daily very low is I think a reaction, according to what you see here, that we will probably try to target or visit. And I hope I saved you from a massive fake out today also, because I know how many people were willing to buy here at the top. I really hope I could help you out today a little bit. If you guys, by the way, like the stream, if you like, like the fact that I come here on every day, this week didn't come on a Monday and Tuesday, but normally we are every day, then please smash that like button. I would appreciate that. I never ask for likes, by the way, but if you could smash that like button, that would be highly appreciated, man, because it helps the channel grow and stuff. And talking about growing the channel, it has been a wild journey. It has been a wild journey, absolutely. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you see? So we're breaking down. And we're getting, we're pushing down lower and lower, and these buyers at the top were really something that we couldn't really ignore. And it just showed us that there was not enough follow through for price to get back into and actually to a breakout here. Okay, and it allowed us to see that we were just not strong, strong enough. Okay, I think the dollar is going, look at the dollar real quick here. I think the dollar is pushing back up from that support here. Yeah, look at that. Dollar is pushing from that support. And this is why gold is facing additional pressure right now as well, right? It's also the dollar pushing at the same time, okay? Right there. Yeah. Now, what happened there, buyers stepped in, they couldn't. Super high volume, trapped. Broke below the VWAP, tapped into it, buyer stepped into it again, trapped. Seller stepped in right now, and now you're seeing a sell-off pretty much, right? So the logical target is the very low. If you did enter here, okay, I did like a simulation trade in my head today, but if you did enter here, then you should secure yourself right now. You know, this should be like a break-even trade. And then you target the 4401, or you wait for the lows to be taken out at 4397. But you have to watch the value area low because you can still hold it. Okay. Yeah, you can still hold this right there. So let's watch if this can actually respect it right now. The 4400 and 1 is where the very low is at. That's the level. That is the level here. So it should be secured for sure now. And the reason why is because you tapped into the POC, I think, of the previous day, or you're actually breaking below it. If I'm not mistaken as well here. No, you're tapping into it right now. Yeah, this is a good moment to secure yourself. If you will be in that trade. How come I didn't take the trade? I told you already. From my perspective, the risk reward was not good enough for me here. I needed like a 220 pip stop loss, which is fine. But my target, I think, was somewhere around, it was a 1-to-1. Taking profits along the way, I mean, it would not be as beneficial for me right now in a counter trend scenario. Okay, not in a counter trend scenario. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't expect buyers to be stopped and trapped here and the price would come down. Just have to follow my rules, but I hope that makes sense for you guys. Understanding why we should have avoided longs here, number 1. And why price had to probably come down a bit more now, number 2. Yeah, that's the beauty of our buyers and sellers interacting. The only time when we use order flow, is pretty much when price is at an area of interest. Okay, because this is what we call the order flow trap. Is that you start watching every single candle at all times, and that. If you start with order flow and you look at the order flow chart, you'll find a setup every moment of the minute, every time. But that's the trap with order flow, okay? So if you start in order flow, don't use order flow. Only use order flow as an additional layer to a level. Now, how do you do that? You find an area of interest, okay? Like you take out the previous daily high, whatever. That's an area of interest. Once you do that, right, then you look for a setup. What I like to do is, if we break out of a value area, so this is like a value area, right? A range, a balanced session. And what happened is, price came back down inside of the value area of that range. So price tapped into this value area, right? I have a whole lesson around this on my Telegram for free. You can watch this, okay? Now you tap into that zone. The moment we are here and we tap into the value area, I watch the order flow. Right? That is the moment you watch it, because that is the moment where it matters the most, right? And that's kind of the idea around it. Yeah. So therefore, if you ask me what is your strategy, my strategy is 90% volume profile, supply in a month, higher time frame. So candlestick chart, okay? and 10% order flow. Yeah. Does it help? Absolutely. It absolutely helps. But it's 90% of the work is done on the charts. Okay, and it's not done on the order flow platform, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys want to learn about that, I have 3 episodes on my Telegram channel. It's free for you. Okay, you don't have to watch it, or you don't have to pay for it at all. It's just on my YouTube channel, just free. Okay, so you go there, you watch them, all 3, and you come back to the live stream. Okay, I think this is gonna help. You watch those 3 videos, you come back to the live stream, and then at the same time, you read the book, the LT Concepts Trading War Map, as well. Okay, and you go to the section right here called volume analysis, and you learn about this, and I think you have a really good foundation of how to use the volume profile. If there is one thing I couldn't trade without, it's the volume profile. Okay, I couldn't trade without it. I've been just too connected to it myself. I couldn't trade without it at this moment in time. Couldn't do it. Okay. Man, I hoped I saved some people today from getting trapped into longs here. I really hoped I did. I really hoped I did. And I hope they listened. Because it was very clear. Oh. Unlike you, I'm not able to download the book. Maybe I should open up a new, use another email address. It should be working. It should be working. Okay. Yeah, so anyways, right now, what's the 4401 here? It's the next big level. It's the lowest, it's the very low of the previous day. You know, we're clearly getting rejected at this high right now at the moment. Okay. In 15 minutes, we will close this 15-minute candle too. I think that's going to give you a very good confirmation of where you are. If you close really bearish, the chance of us getting down there is just so much bigger. So, yeah. Once those lows are taken out, okay, you are back in that low again. I'm watching carefully what will happen around there, but yeah, there is a reason why we're getting rejected there. We constantly seem to find that support there at the 4400. Maybe also from a psychological perspective, like the 4400 is that psychological level. Are the volume profile and order flow free? The volume profile is free, I think, on TradingView. Yeah, it should be free. It should be free, right? All right, there we go. Red Kisaki says, if you look at yesterday's profile, it was normal, a balanced day, and this morning it was rejected the highs or 2-day balance, so it will be another range for liquidation. I do agree with you. I think in order to move up higher, we need to come down lower. Yeah. I do agree with you. There we go. 4,401. Can we reach it? Bro, what do you think about Gamma? Yeah, whatever. You can use another 5,000 tools. You know what I mean? It's good to look at the option flow as well right now. I think that for the Nasdaq, it's great, right? For like high liquid instruments, I think it's fantastic. I think for gold, I think what we're using right now is everything we need. And it's already more than enough, right? The volume profile, supply and demand, the VWAP right now, some order flow. I think it's already enough. The indicator we use. I think you have a really good foundation. And it should be exactly what we're looking for, right? Nothing should contradict each other. Nothing should contradict each other, I think. If you build a strategy, then you should have something that doesn't contradict. So for example, everything that we use in the strategy is doing what it's supposed to do. Okay? Everything is doing what it's supposed to do here. Yeah. So use it for the Nasdaq, not for gold. Yes, it's true. When Lorenzo opens the next advanced class, don't wait for it. Jump on it. I've learned so much. It's unreal. Had nothing but green days since we started. 100% worth it. 1000% worth it. Thank you, Jesse, man. Appreciate it. We have a session today, my friend. Yeah, 6 p.m. 6 a.m. Sorry, EST. It's gonna be early for you. Hope you can make it. Hope you can make it today. Anyways, very low is getting target. I hope it makes sense right here, guys, in terms of what we talked about here, the rejection. I'm sure, did some people take it or not? Man, I'm happy that you guys didn't have long here in this chat. Okay. John says, please give us signals. Don't be selfish. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. All right, previous daily very low. Are we gonna go there? And we did close below the very area low of today. So that probably will mean that we'll actually try to revisit this levels right now at the moment there. At the very low. I think once the target is hit, I think that was pretty much a potential setup. Like I said, whenever I say I don't take necessarily a trade here, it doesn't mean you don't have to take it. It's up to you to decide right there. I just told you guys that for me the risk to reward is not high enough, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't believe in it. Right? That was the key difference here today's session. And I think the chat really needs to understand that as well here from that perspective, because we take a tremendous amount of trades live. Like all those trades you see here, all of them, right? Since we started this account right now, right there. Okay, we started this account for the stream. All of those trades are taken live, right? We take all those trades live. All right, no problem. Every single trade you see here is taken live on stream on the ACE session. So that's not the issue, okay? Sometimes there are certain setups that don't apply to my rules, so I can't take them, okay? But that doesn't mean that I don't see something. And some people can't see to understand that nuance. That sometimes there is a difference between me seeing price going somewhere and being able to take the trade myself. I know it's complex, and I know that some people don't understand that thought process, okay? Because if you believe in it, why would you not take it? I get that, but there are nuances. Okay, there is a reason sometimes why it's not possible for me to enter a setup specifically. But that doesn't mean that I don't see where price sometimes will go to. All right? Some people understand this. And when I say some, I think most people will understand this. Yeah. At the same time, if we would have saw a major breakout here, we would see a closure with more volume, and the volume didn't slow down. This is also a huge tail sign right here, right? If you look at the volume, then you can actually confirm really quickly that this was not going to be a fake out. Okay, but the fact that all those buyers entered at the top, we broke below the VWAP, we got rejected, new buyers entered, we tapped into the value area, so we closed inside of the value area of the week, and we failed to take that and turn that into resistance. That's not where you want to buy. That's just not where you want to buy. Yeah. If price gives us a retracement to the 4424, it would be a good level to sell, aligning with the volume profile. If price would pull back again, you mean? Yeah. So what do you do here if you're new? My suggestion is always to download my free book. Nothing here is paid, okay? I do have an advanced program, but it is only for, it's only once a month, once every 6 weeks. This time it will be every 2 months, so we're not gonna do that. We're opening up for like 20 people. But I don't think this is something that you should focus on if you're new, okay? I think you should just focus on the free content. I think you should focus on the Telegram. Okay, the content in there, the 3 videos, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. It's like a 2-hour masterclass if you combine them. and the book. And I think that combination with the live streams and the trades we take on this stream should be already enough for you to set a good foundation. Okay? If you are a beginner, especially if you're a beginner, because I think this is where you should definitely find the balance, right? The beginning of your journey. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do a quick analysis in a second here, but we'll probably already, I'm already kind of seeing a zone where I would look to buy. But yeah, suddenly that 8-hour time frame, that candle that we saw breaking out is not looking as good anymore, does it? Yeah, it's not looking as strong anymore as it did an hour ago. Do you prefer the New York session or the Asian session? I prefer the Asian session now at the moment. Yeah. I mean, our win rate is just so high, right? On stream on the Asian session right now at the moment. So let's just keep following with what works. And the New York session has been good too, especially lately, because you don't have to worry about the news anymore so much. Trump and Iran stuff and stuff. It's not as effective anymore, so that's actually kind of good. But I like the Asian session because it allows us to see how the daily candle opens up, and that sets up a really good foundation for the rest of the day. Yeah. Asian session is simple. USA moves too quick. Yeah, you have to be very sharp. You have to be very sharp. There's just a big difference between the Asian session and the New York session, because if you trade New York, then you can already see that the candle has opened up for 14 hours already. It's a 14-hour candle. It is not a 2-hour candle like Asia. But I do think that Asia is where a lot of people can make a lot of money. If you are new to trading, I recommend you trade Asia, okay, and not New York. I think if you man, I can't believe to say this, but if you are a new trader and you get to New York session in this time with what's currently happening with the war and everything, right, or whatever the case may be, like I felt sorry for people starting trading, their trading journey 3 months ago. Okay? But lately, I have to admit, it has become much better again. Much better, the New York session. Yeah. In comparison, much better. Wieland says, never traded New York, only Asia and very rarely London. Yeah. When I was in Ibiza, I traded London. And yeah, that was actually very interesting trading journey, by the way. I have to admit, it was actually very good. Better than I expected. Okay? Even though how I remember London to be, it's like pretty bad. Pretty nasty. But But it was not bad actually. In the week where I was in, when I was in the beach, it was actually kind of fine. Okay. So yeah, well, what we can currently see right now at the moment is if you go to the 4-hour time frame, okay, then the only thing that I can tell you right now is that we are in higher time frame resistance. So if you wonder why are we facing so much resistance here, it's still because we are in a daily supply zone. Okay, I don't think that we can neglect this right now at the moment. We are in a daily supply zone. If you can mark this out right there, we have just been looking at it from this perspective. We can do it one more time, but you can see it. Okay. This is the top, and this is the bottom. We have that drop, base, drop. We use supply in the month on the higher time frame. We love to use supply in the month on the higher time frame. The reason why is because it freaking works, okay? It works. It allows us to understand where there is a larger accumulation and distribution. I do not use supply in the month, okay, on the lower time frame, okay? For me, it's not enough, okay? I use the volume profile on the lower time frame. And anything above the 4-hour, so the 4-hour, the 8-hour, the 12-hour, the daily, I use the volume, so the supply and demand zones. Okay, the reason why is because I like to trade and operate in cycles. Okay, at least 4-hour cycles. If there's something that I use, it's 4-hour trading cycles. Okay, so supply and demand is part of that cycle. We look at the dollar as well in that same exact context, right? Then we go to the lower time frame and we try to understand if we're balanced for the day or unbalanced for the day. So let's, for example, start off with the higher time frame. Okay, we are in supply on the daily. Okay, this is why we're facing that resistance, and this is why you have to be extremely careful with longs unless you have a really good confirmation on the lower time frame. Okay, if you take this to the 4-hour or the 8-hour, you actually have also support right there, right? You're also in a demand zone, okay? So that's the annoying part, and this is why it's such a tough condition today, okay? Because you are in supply, but you're also in demand, because the trend is trying to push us higher, okay? Now, what is important to mention is the following. We're pushing high, we're balanced, we're breaking out, we're balanced, we're breaking out, we're balanced. But every time when we break out, the push itself is smaller, 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 smaller. We're losing a bit of momentum here, okay? So this is where fakeouts are really likely to occur, okay? And this is why we were very hesitant with buying and very careful, okay? So then, knowing that we are in between these two zones right there, we use the tool called the volume profile on the lower time, in the 15-minute. I skip the 4-hour and I skip the 1-hour. I skip the 30-minute, I go straight to the 15-minute, okay? I use the volume profile in this condition, which is very tight, okay, of the current week. And what I look at is the value area, okay? Because how is the volume distributed across this week so far? Today is Monday, or sorry, it was Monday. This was Tuesday. This is Wednesday. And now we're in like Thursday, right? And we observe what happens inside of the value area. How is the volume distributed? Okay, you can see it right there. The value area low and the value area high. Okay, the value high is something that we broke. So we had a break out of the value area high right there. You see that? And then this is the moment we break out. Are we really all about it? Or is this just a fake out right there? Now, we watched the order flow there, and we could just simply see that the moment we were there, buyers got stuck in their position. But this is a reason for us to say, okay, don't take any buys. Don't try to trade with the trend now at the top. Don't chase breakouts, because there is a bigger chance that price can come down right now and come down back lower as well. At some point in time, okay? And this is just a temporary phase. So if you're struggling right now with gold at this current moment in time, don't worry, because this is just a temporary phase, okay? We're in like a really tight squeeze right now between support, between resistance. The market loves to trap people, trap market participants inside of this area right there. At some point we get a climax, okay? And we're gonna start seeing the market moving again. It could be a good, big, solid break above this area, and we could look for the continuation long. I don't care about that supply then, if we are executing and pushing up with volume. If sellers are getting stuck, if there is a lot of volume in that breakout, if it's supported by a real participation, okay? We can still look for longs. But I would not neglect us potentially pulling down a little bit, okay? Getting back to like a previous range to then potentially look for longs again. And this is, in my opinion, for buys, the best possible scenario, okay? In this case right here, if you go to the 15-minute and we look at the overall week, now what is the cleanest expansion that we have seen before where buyers took absolute control? It was right here in this area, okay? This was that zone where buyers took absolute control and where, in essence, buyers got the hang of it, okay? So buyers and sellers were equal. We were operating in fair value. We broke out of fair value. And this is where we tapped into, okay? We call that a fixed range, a fair value level. If price can come down here, okay, it respects the lows and it starts to range here, okay? I'm gonna potentially wait for price to break out of fair value and I'm gonna heavily buy. And I think there is a big chance that we could start coming back up again, okay? This is like a medium-term type of setup. I'm just showing you right now what the best possible setups are gonna be if you look for buys and if you look for, you know, sells or something in that matter. I'm not saying that we will, you know, we'll get there or that this is the only long that you can take or whatever. I'm just saying that will be the best possible scenario for you if price would get there to look for buys with the highest conviction, with the highest risk reward ratio, buys that you can hold on to if you want to, for gold to potentially push up higher. That's like a big move, right? Now that is somewhere of a setup that makes total sense when you are getting very tight and when you're squeezing very much, because you want to wait for some sort of manipulation event for you to take advantage of that manipulation, right? And then trade the other direction pretty much. This doesn't break the trend. I mean, if you look here, this is still the reasonable range that is supported. So as long as you hold this, I think buys are still the most relevant, okay? Just not now, not at the top here, okay? But buys will still be the most relevant. It will still be the better potential setup. If price breaks that and we take out that range right there and it starts to struggle, okay, then any pullback, in my opinion, is a short back down towards the next range, which is right there, okay? And that allows us to take at least have 1,000 pip move to the downside, okay? At least find a potential move back down, which is probably gonna be a big move, okay? Because usually what happens if you take out that low, you'll find a bigger range here, you'll find resistance there, and I think the chances of us getting down there is gonna be so much bigger. And you're dealing with just such a bigger move to the downside of around, you know, at least 1,000 pips. So then shorting becomes very rewarding, okay? Very rewarding right now at the moment here. So if you look there at the highs, this was a potential short that we talked about, okay? There are shorts that, in my opinion, make sense around this level. And this is why we said, be very careful with buying here. There's no reason to buy here right now at the moment, okay? There's too much resistance happening around the highs. There is no follow through of buyers, or, you know, buyers are not in control there. There is a much bigger chance that we'll try to come down, at least visit the lows, and pretty much watch what happens from there, okay? Because the moment price breaks down, and it does get down there, you know, you can potentially see, okay, is there a chance that price will continue to drop lower towards the previous range right there? Or at least we'll try to revisit, and I think that's the most important level, the lows of the CPI, okay? Because the CPI wick that we're seeing right there is still open. It is still not taken out right now at that current moment in time here. So I really hope that I was able to get you out of that long bias. I think this was the biggest goal today's session. and that shorts were available, okay? It's not something that I was very confident taking in a very tight range in this example, but that doesn't mean that you didn't understand why selling was more interested than buying here. And if you understand it in the chat, please type in a yes or something in that matter, okay? Now the conclusion is that if you have a higher time frame correlation, you understand the dollar, you have the supply and demand dynamics locked in, and you use the volume profile, and you combine those three factors, that you have a really good understanding of bias, and that with the order flow, that last 5 or 10% extra, okay, where you look for the entries, becomes super relevant. But only when price is in that higher time frame zone, or in that specific point of interest you're looking for, okay? Don't be obsessed with order flow. Only look at the order flow when you need it, when it's needed, when it's like interesting at a certain moment. Don't watch an order flow chart and think that you need to stare at an order flow chart to understand every moment, because you're gonna be stuck in these stupid positions. Only watch it when it matters, okay? Yeah. All right. So conclusion is, we take the high, we take the low of yesterday, we take the volume profile. We're gonna reach the very area low right now. It's in my opinion was a logical target. Watch what happens when those lows get taken out here. And if price is gonna be extremely choppy today, we're just gonna stay in the range today. Or if price is able to break down further, if it is able to break down further, in my opinion, it's a good thing. I think it's something that you want to see, okay? Because the lower you can go today, the better it's gonna be for longs, okay? The better it's gonna be for longs over the next coming days ahead of us here. So you should not be really worried about the move here. What you should wanna see is you wanna see an expansion, and the last thing that you want to see today is price being stuck in this range. Because the longer it's gonna stay stuck in this range, the more annoying it's gonna get. All right? The more annoying it's gonna get there. Yeah? You wanna see price leaving this range as soon as possible. Okay, the sooner the better the opportunities you're gonna see. Okay? At this moment, you have a triple top. If price does not come down and it does not wanna break it, what? Are we gonna try again for the 4th time? Okay? Every time you break the highs here, you have to take it extremely serious, because there is a chance of continuation. This was not the day, okay? This was not the day to take that in account right there, okay? So watch the previous range. Watch this level. Also watch, just watch this level. I mean, that's the main level that I would say is the most important level to watch right now. It's this area right here. We have one more range sitting below that, which is sitting right there. Okay. How are you, man? Yeah? Awesome. You already came last night. Yesterday, right? She came already. So it's pretty clean. Okay. I don't think there's much to clean. But okay. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah. Look at the 4-hour time frame, my friends. Look at the 4-hour time frame right now. Look at how you're getting rejected here. Okay. And look at how you just swept the highs in this 4-hour and how we're now breaking down here. So let price do its thing. Settle. Don't chase buys right now. Let price develop. Wait for price to push down a little bit lower, and go from there. Okay, that is my suggestion to you. All right. Okay, shows that demand zone again. Yeah, 4360 is where the journey begins, I would say. Okay. Waiting for the very low to be hit right there. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys that this is what potentially would happen. Price coming back down to the very low of today. Okay. One thing is for certain, if we can drop today, that would be amazing. Okay. I would love to see it drop here today. Take out some of those lows here. Take out like the CPI low. Get back towards this area. And just give us a little bit more room to see if the continuation is reliable. Okay, if we can actually look for a little bit of a reaction here, a little bit of a pullback, I think you're gonna have a lot more options once it actually happens. Okay, giving us the room to potentially look for longs instead of trying to chase the longs in a breakout right now, knowing that we have all that resistance ahead of us right there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. We also broke below the point of control of the current week. So if you take the point of control from a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we pretty much broke below this as well here. So that pretty much confirms right now with those trap buyers at the top that the last thing you should look for now at this moment is buys. Okay. All right, guys. I hope that makes sense here. I think tomorrow we're going to do a giveaway again. I think tomorrow is the giveaway day. We're going to continue to work on that. If you looked here at the valuation index, we were overvalued as well, by the way. Look at that. It was pretty much a confirmation from the valuation. We were overvalued and it did project at the top here. So another sign to not hop into or rush into buys without the right confirmation, right? But I hope I was able to give you at least some good insights today in regards to why buying here was not an option and why sellers were definitely in control here, where buyers got stuck and trapped in their position right here at the top. You could also see this very clearly in the order flow, that buyers had a really, really hard time. Okay, especially at the top here, when the moment we broke above that, we closed below the VWAP, that buyers were no longer in control. Okay, and that we were kind of stuck in that position here, and that we tapped right now into the value area low of the previous day. Okay, so if you were in that short here, then that might be a good target to take out some profits, etc. here. I'm only use this account for really, really good trading opportunities. I'm not going to force any trades on my account right now, especially not the account that I trade here publicly with you guys. I want to have the best setups. I want to grow this account to 100K. We are now sitting at $21,000. We started at 6. Okay, not that long ago. So I want to keep this up right now. I think we're on the right track of doing the right thing here. And in the meantime, give you guys hopefully the best insights of the session. And I hope you didn't buy at the top. Okay, that was just the best way avoiding an unnecessary loss or an unnecessarily chasing trade. But it doesn't mean that those shorts were interesting. It was just that for me, the risk reward didn't add up too much. Okay, the risk was a bit too high on those shorts right here in this counter trend trade, counter trend environment. Okay, the risk was a bit too high. But I hope it makes sense and I hope you learned something. Okay. All right, my friends, I hope this makes sense right here. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I hope we can freaking leave this range right now. So we can get into some really good trades like last week. For example, last week we had some big upside. Okay. And I hope that we can take out some of those lows to get into some clean trades, some larger moves. Okay. For some good price action. Sometimes we just take quick scalps. So it's not about always taking and catching the big trades. But if the range gets extremely tight, I think that's the moment for you to be patient and to wait for better opportunities in the market, or to keep your risk very tight when you take those shorts like we talked about right there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna come back tomorrow. Shout out to the volume profile. You gotta love it. You gotta love the combination of that with supply and demand and order flow. It's in my opinion the way the gold hybrid trading system works the best, is to understand this thought process the best right there. Okay, and to really get the hang of those, and then yeah, you should be able to get a good foundation. One more time, if you're new and you just hopped in and you want to learn about the volume profile, these videos are free. Okay, they're private videos. If you click on them, you can actually see that they are all private. It's all private content. I explain exactly how to mark out the volume profile right there. Okay, it's free. It's not on my channel publicly. I don't have any videos on my channel publicly. Okay, every video that I make it will be shared privately right there on my YouTube channel. It's all private content. Okay, you can find it in my Telegram. And if you want to learn and read throughout the weekend, you can also read my book right there. Give you guys the full insights into the volume profile as well. And the reason why I say volume profile is because if you build a good foundation with this, and I have so much faith and so much belief in this, then the rest will come. The system and the explanation of the system and everything that I will explain to you over time. Or if you decide to at least join my advanced class in the future or something like that, you will see how everything will fall in place, okay? And how that finally can turn you into a profitable trader, which we all aspire to be right now, all right? Admire to be. All right, guys, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow again. Tomorrow's giveaway time, and let's see if the price is actually now able to come down a little bit more. And if this fake out, this trapped buyers will allow us to come down and go for the lows. And now sets ourselves up for amazing buys. I hope to see it. Amazing buys tomorrow. I really hope to see that. Okay. Thank you, my friends. Good luck today. A bit more education today, but it's completely fine. In days like these, where we just have to observe a little bit. And then I'm gonna come back tomorrow, and we're gonna be here on a daily basis here. I'm planning to be here till the end of this year. Okay, if not longer. So we have been doing this now since February. This is episode number 91. Freaking episode number 91. Can you believe that? We have a lot more episodes to go and a lot more things to learn in a lot more different environments and trading conditions. So if you are a real trader that really wants to learn and take this serious, then I think this is the channel for you, because we're going to be here showing up and we're going to follow up with one system, one strategy in different market conditions. And you see how this system and strategy applies in each of one of those conditions. We're going to have trading days. We're going to have no trading days. We're going to have days where we have to observe. But when you start to understand the system, it's about, do we make money by the end of the month? And that's the only thing that matters. Do you actually make money? Correct? All right, my friends. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I will be back tomorrow again. And yeah, stay with us for a long time. And you see if you can enjoy the fruits of our labor. Much love, my friends. And I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah? Take care. Ciao.